Hello, it's Ryan from 2minutetennis.net, and in this video, I'm going to help you win more singles matches with one simple tip. Please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell. Even share this video with a friend, as those are the best ways to support this channel. All right, so excited to bring you this video today. This has to do with when your opponent hits a drop shot against you, or they hit the ball and it tips off the net, right? And now it drops softly over, and you got to get to that ball before it bounces a second time. There are a couple things you can do to increase the likelihood that you win that point and ultimately the match. Let's check out some real college footage of this exact situation, and then we'll bring it back to the strategy board.
So let's watch the point first, and then we'll diagram it. Now, it's actually cool that that was on match point, but here's the serve. Nice deep return down the middle, pushing the server back. And that's actually a great time to go for a drop shot. That's a great time. If you ever push your opponent back, that's when it's a great time to hit that ball short. Now, here's a couple things. This player is going to hit a drop shot, and he's going to hit the ball so it barely goes over the net. When you see that your opponent hits a drop shot, or if you see their ball tip the net and then drop over, it's important that you do not pull your racket back behind you. You'll notice that he keeps his racket, the player in black, he plays for Stanford. You can see how he keeps his racket in front of him and see his elbows. It's kind of funny to watch him go backward, but you can see his elbows moving, right? So he's running and running and running. So he's pumping his arms. It is so important that you pump your arms. I see players all the time. Again, they pull their racket back like they're taking a backswing. That's not the fastest way to run. You want to pump your arms. That will help you to get to that ball faster. The next thing is you can see he never puts the racket behind him. He's reaching out, and he's actually reaching out to the right. So his racket, he's reaching out to the right because he's actually going to plan on hitting the ball to the left. But his racket never goes behind him. So not only does he not pull it back behind him as he's running, he doesn't pull the racket behind him when he's going up to the ball and planning on hitting it. And the reason is very simple. There is a simple idea. You want to drop shot a drop shot. So in tennis, when your opponent hits a drop shot on you or they tip off the net, when you get up there, you don't want to hit this ball deep. Because if you hit the ball deep, you're running forward, and then your opponent will lob it up over your head. So what you actually want to do is hit this ball very short, and that's exactly what happens. So you can see he's reaching. Notice the angle of his racket. The angle of his racket is this way, and so he's going to hit the ball to the left. And after he hits it, you can see he hits the ball so short the opponent has no way of getting it. Now the opponent should have actually been coming up a little bit more. So when you hit a drop shot, it's a little bonus tip. When you're this player and you hit the drop shot, move farther into no man's land than he did. He stayed too close to the baseline, so then it was too easy for the drop shot that was short to win the point. But when you hit that short ball, most likely you are going to win the point. Now, one other tip here is the distance to hit the ball short in front of him and the distance to hit it short cross court. This is a farther distance. So it's actually easier to hit the ball cross court and keep the ball close to the net. Let's say that the ball, when it's traveling cross court like this, traveled 15 feet in the air, which I think is a reasonable distance, right? 15 feet. So about 5 meters, somewhere around there, 5 meters. Well, if he would have hit the ball forward 5 meters, it would have landed much deeper in the court. But because he hit this ball diagonally and he hit the ball cross court, even though he made the ball travel a very far distance, the ball landed very close to the net. So a nice little tip to be able to hit the ball closer to the net when you go for that drop shot off of a drop shot is to actually angle it. And then it's easier to actually keep the ball close to the net. Let's watch this point again in its entirety, and you'll see him run forward, pumping his arms, reach out, and hit the ball softly back over the net.
So a big thank you goes out to Matt Lynn for allowing me to use that footage. You will love his content, both college and pro footage. And I put the link to that video in the description below. So please give him a subscription. So simple. The serve went in. The return actually went down the tee. The returner hit this super deep return that pushed the server back. And when he hit that next ball, this player came in slightly inside the court, and that's actually a good time for a drop shot. It really wasn't a bad time for a drop shot at all. I think he just elevated that drop shot a little too much. But he hit the ball really short. Now, it doesn't matter if the ball is tipped off the net and lands short or your opponent hits it short. When you have to run this far distance, the mistake I see players making is they run for that ball with their arm behind them, right? Like they see the ball coming to them, or if it's a let cord and the ball tips the net, they start bringing the racket back, they see it tip off the net, and then they keep it there, and then they're running with their arm behind them. You don't want to run with your arm behind you. You're not going to be able to run your fastest. So the moment you see it's a drop shot or it tips off the net and you've got to run a really far distance, you need to pump your arms. You could see his elbows making that move. So he was running as fast as he could. So as he goes up there, in his mind, he already knows what he's going to do with that ball. He knows he's going to hit the ball short, which is the right thing to do. I just want you to have this in your mind. You should drop shot a drop shot, right? So when your opponent drops the ball over the net or let cords and you're running forward, in your mind, think, I'm going to hit a drop shot. Most high level, and I'm talking the pros, most pros, they know to move in, because they know the right shot is to drop shot it so they can get it. Most of your opponents, when they hit a let cord or a drop shot, are going to stay too far back. Even though they might know to move in, they're going to stay too far back. My 24 years of coaching experience tells me that. So it is the smart choice to hit it short. Now, you can either hit it down the line or cross court. One thing that's good about cross court is it's a farther distance that you can hit the ball, but the ball still stays close to the net. That's what we just saw. If you hit the ball down the line, that's great, but you have to hit the ball even softer, which is why it's really important you don't pull your arm behind you, because then you'll hit it and you'll have too much energy and the ball will go deep. You're now in and the ball goes over your head. So I think if you play a lot of singles, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So when you get tight to the net, running down the drop shot, reach forward. Don't pull your arm back. Reach forward so you can tap the ball. And if you tap it slightly on the right side of it, the ball goes to the left. If it had been a backhand, if you tap slightly on the left side of the ball, then the ball will go to the right. But the goal is that you're hitting that ball super softly over the net. And if you do, you're going to win a lot of points. The next time your opponent hits a drop shot on you, or they hit a ground stroke and the ball tips off the net, run by pumping your arms. Get up to that ball as fast as you can. Reach forward and tap the ball lightly over the net. You do that, there's no doubt you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2minutetennis.net. You got this.